Hey, good morning world. Welcome to Better Out of practice. Good morning world, welcome to Better Than Food. I am your host, Cliff Sargent, back from the trip. It was beautiful. Hope all is good with you out there. Today I'm going to review one of my all-time favorite books that I had completely forgotten about and then was reminded of very kindly. Thank you. Going back to where we just left, Roberto Bolaño once said in the last interview, or one of the last interviews, that this man was the only writer he could think of, the only great writer, who was also not a good person. Bolaño was talking about Louis-Ferdinand Céline. Journey to the End of the Night is a novel with a certain pessimistic notoriety that I came across a couple of years ago. It's the semi-autobiographical story of Ferdinand Céline, which is Céline's alter ego, as he journeys through World War I and beyond all over the world. There are so many brilliant lines in this book, I am not going to read a single fucking one. The word nihilistic is thrown around a lot, but I actually feel it's an extremely lazy term because of its inability to capture the spirit of the literature itself. The truth is, literature like this comes from an immense terminal dissatisfaction with life, rightfully so in my opinion, and the ability to concisely spit the darkest thoughts at the reader in a manner which is both insightful and entertaining is an incredible achievement, I feel, and about as far away from actual nihilism as we could possibly get. So it's super nihilistic, bro. In one of my earlier videos of Emile Cioran's The Trouble with Being Born, I mentioned his manner of exuberant, passionate pessimism, and that is very much Céline, but upgraded with this really biting, scathing, exclamation point filled black humor. Love is the infinite placed within the reach of poodles. I have my dignity. So in a moment of heroic blindness, and also I believe to spite his friend who he's having an argument with in a cafe, Ferdinand Céline literally jumps out of the cafe and joins a regime that's marching by, and suddenly gets thrown into the army by accident. And he finds himself in the middle of the First World War. It is the year 1914. What follows is a journey into absolute disillusionment, cynicism, and a real violent hatred for the human race. Hence the title of the book. You can be a virgin in horror the same as in sex. Fuck, now I'm quoting it. I can't help it. The truth is, I'm a liar. It's been several years since I've actually read it, but I remember there was one character that Céline actually really seemed to fully love, almost blindly. A prostitute in Detroit, whom Céline almost settles down with in America, but the wanderlust and the desire for adventure bring him back to Paris, and he breaks her heart. So perhaps Céline, much like many other brilliant jaded authors, was a failed idealist. In Céline's actual life, there were a few things that he loved above anything else. If we are to trust online biographical sources, those would be his wife and his cat. Later on, he was a huge proponent of fascism and anti-Semitism, and some would say that he was the perfect candidate for those roles. Maybe so, but out of time and context, it is difficult for me to actually make a decision or a judgment on his personal character. If one were to look further, one might agree with what the wonderful modern author from Britain Will Self said about Céline, which is that Céline's venom is aimed at all classes and races of people with indiscriminate abandon. Which in this case is why it's so much fun to read. To philosophize is only another way of being afraid, and leads hardly anywhere but to cowardly make-believe. Céline was, to be frank, punk as fuck. Bukowski once said, first of all, read Céline, the greatest author in 2,000 years. So Céline actually did join the army on a whim to spite his parents when he was very young, and then was shot in the arm and got a medal, was declared unfit for military service, and then went to go study to become a doctor, which is also a portion of Journey to the End of the Night. So you can definitely see the autobiographical nature of this novel, which was actually his first, by the way. Did I already say that? If I have to say it again. I don't know what else to say. It's full of exaggerated, exclamated, bitter humor, which is often scathingly true. If you're a fan of Knut Hamsun, Samuel Beckett, Jean Genet, Henry Miller, The Beats, you're gonna find yourself right at home. Just slipping into like a warm, blood and hate-filled hot tub. And if you're one of those folks who really enjoyed the Thomas Ligotti post, then this is right up your alley. Except with this, you'll laugh more. I promise. So with all those authors I just mentioned, I realized I have reviewed none of them, so there's much more to come. Remember what John Waters said, if you go home with somebody and they don't have books, don't fuck them. Now go read. Have a great day.